If you're interested in making money with copywriting, this video is going to show you how to do it because it's a skill that changed my life. I felt like a total loser a couple of years ago, and I got myself to a point somehow where I was closing big companies as clients and being able to work on my own terms. So I wish I had a video like this whenever I first started, and this is exactly what I would do if I was starting copywriting right now. All right, boys, so let's start up here. Okay, so let's get into step one. If I told you to lose 5 kilos of weight in the next couple of months, or I'm going to burn your house down with your family in it, what do you think you would do? If you wanted to go from this guy to this guy, well, you'd probably spend every single day studying the best ways to lose weight. Then you would just start doing it. You'd start losing the weight. It's the exact same here. The first step for becoming a good copywriter and making money is to immerse yourself in the world of copywriting. You want to watch copywriting videos every single day, and luckily that's the easy part, so you're kind of at the easiest part right now. You want to take in as many courses, email lists, blogs, or books, and pretty much everything you can come in contact with related to copywriting for the next month. There's loads of free videos on this channel. I'll help you out totally for free. I'll email you as well, 10 hours of free training worth $2,000 in the description if you're interested. But after your first month, you can move on to step 2. And step 2, well, should be fairly obvious by now, but to become good at anything, you have to practice it every single day. Now, luckily, because of what you did in the first month, you should have a good understanding of how to actually write copy, so you know that you can take action and practice it every day. I suggest you start writing 30 pieces of copy and do that every single day for 30 days. Again, I have loads of videos on the channel here to help you out with that. And this is actually something that's mandatory for anybody who works with me one-to-one. They have to write the 30 pieces of copy before they can start reaching out to businesses and doing all the other stuff. But again, the free course is down below. So mainly, I just focus on learning email sequences, video content, and landing pages. So email sequences are when you sign up to a newsletter for a company, or you try to buy something and you get emails after saying, hey, do you want to make sure you want to buy your product or whatever? That's an email sequence. Ads and video content is basically just ads you would get on Facebook, and landing pages are just the pages that you land on when you go to our website. So now we want to move on to bringing in cold hard cash. And this is step 3. Now, this step is taught by almost everyone on YouTube, and yet none of them have a clue how to actually do it. This one is called outreach. Now, I don't want you to do what I'm about to show you here, so I'm going to explain this Conor McGregor picture in a minute. You need to systemize your outreach as fast as humanly possible, which means once you get something that works, you need to do that as much as you can and have it systemized so that it works for you. But how do you do good outreach and start getting clients? Well, again, outreach is very simple, and it is just like going to the gym. If you want to start building muscle in the gym, you just eat right every week and make sure that you lift enough heavy weights. Outreach is very simple, but it only works if you follow the right process. Again, I have free videos on this. I'm not here to try and plug every video on my channel, but you don't want to go for the typical stuff that you'll see on YouTube, which is just send Instagram DMs, offering services. You want to have an actual system that you follow here. But again, you don't need to buy anything to understand what this means. There's free videos on my channel that show you exactly how to do this. Now, I want to save you from the sort of fire pit of YouTube, because most people on YouTube will teach you old, regurgitated, outdated methods for getting clients through outreach, because none of them have had to actually do it themselves. Now, I'm not going to name any names. There are some people that are decent. There are some people that are not so decent in terms of YouTube copywriting advice. But I can tell you from my experience, when I used to do it, when I was broke a couple of years ago, and as you can see from my old videos, you can see the bedroom that I worked in. This is literally me when I first started out. There are a few simple ways to do outreach that will make people want to pay you money. My best advice is that you apply a high effort, low leads approach here. So this is when you reach out to a small amount of business owners that might want to pay you for your copywriting services, and you show them that you actually give a shit about them by highly personalizing the outreach that you send to them. So instead of just saying, hey, are you interested in some email marketing services? You say, hey, John. You include a picture of yourself with John's website up on your screen, and maybe you tell a little story about how you watched his content and you liked a certain post he did. That's how you personalize your outreach. So that's a really simple way to get clients. And I used to do a quick audit of their social profiles or their YouTube channel or whatever else it was that I wanted to help them with copywriting. And I would demonstrate a lot of value and that I knew what I was talking about before I even spoke to them or got them on the phone. So this takes us to our next step, which is Once you get a response from a business owner who wants to start working with you, you have to move them on to step 4, closing them on the phone. Now, this is something I used to shit myself doing, basically, because every single time I did it, I would look at the sales call as like a job interview, because I was used to working like crappy jobs and doing job interviews. But I really thought I had to impress the person that I was going to work with, but I reframed it in my own head to think, well, this person obviously wants to talk to me. They're a business owner and they value their time and they're hopping on a call with me. So they clearly value me in their time and they're already impressed by what I've talked to them about or emailed them about. So this is just a mutually beneficial call. And I was confident that I could make them a lot more money than what they were about to pay me because I spent so much time consuming content and writing and practicing, and literally everything I did was related to copywriting. So with that confidence, I gave less of a shit about the phone call. And this is kind of the approach you need to take. Whenever you're doing phone calls, you're trying to close clients, you can't come in afraid. You can't look afraid because a business owner will sense that and they don't respect it. But I was just able to get to a point where I'd blast out these sales calls and close people quite easily because I just knew what I was doing. But I'm not going to lie, this will take you some practice. But once you've got the hang of it, you'll start closing people like clockwork and you'll start to make a lot of money. So this takes us to the next step, which is step 5. Now, step 5 is something I've never seen taught on YouTube because a lot of these absolute goobers that teach copywriting have never had to actually do it in their lives. And again, I'm going to give you a live example of this, right? So this is Jacob, and I hired him because he was one of my most successful coaching clients. He was an active copywriter, making money. He had done everything I taught him and done it really well. And I just thought he'd be a great coach. And so I decided I was going to pay Jacob for the month, that I was going to get him to help me run calls and help our community members and coach people. And as soon as I took him in, as soon as I started paying money, he came in and put so much effort in. He started doing tons of research on my customers on day one, and he was looking for other ways to get me students better results in my business without me having to spend hundreds of hours on tasks that could have been done with AI or by him. So he basically made a huge effort to do an insanely good job for what I had paid him for. And as a result, as a business owner, this guy's an absolute godsend. He wants to help save me time and get my coaching clients better results. So most beginners will start working with someone and they will do the absolute bare minimum for the client, and then they'll wonder why they stopped getting paid after a month. Jacob has been getting paid work and referral clients from me consistently because he just does an epic job and we get along so well. But look, it's way easier to keep an existing client than it is to find a brand new one. You hear about that all the time. It's cheaper to get an existing client than to go out and find a new one. So when you start landing clients, do your absolute best for them. Now, earlier I mentioned how I would start getting clients if I were to start over again. And if you don't understand what I talk about in the video on screen, you will waste years of your life and tons of lost income working on the wrong things. So let me show you how to do it free of charge. Click the video on screen. This is also a little drawing I did. I'll see you in that video.